Storytelling can be a great way to have employees think for themselves and take more initiative. I'll explain that and give an example in this video. Hello, I'm Stephen Goldberg of Optimus Performance, bringing you practical tips and ideas on leadership, team development, and employee performance in the workplace. I recently posted a video, a case study about Victor, who's a young man in Uganda, and he's kind of in a difficult situation where he's not earning very much money, and has a dream actually to be in business for himself and open a hardware type store. And there's a link to that video in the description of this one, or you can click on the I to access that and watch that right now. So I've been providing him some coaching, and I found that he kind of had this employee mindset. He wants to be an entrepreneur, but his mindset isn't there yet. So I use storytelling to help him start thinking about some alternative solutions to the obstacles that he's facing. And he has some pretty big obstacles. And one is he has no money. So what do you do if you have no money? And it reminded me of a story from a long time ago of somebody that I knew when I was growing up. He was actually a friend of my sister's. And he was a real entrepreneur. And he had no real education. He couldn't hack school. He quit high school. But he liked to sell and he liked clothing. So what he did is he found a way to buy popular brand clothing, less expensive or knockoffs, I'm not sure exactly what it was. And he started selling them from the trunk of his car. He'd go to high schools where kids that would want that type of clothing, those brands, would pay good money for them. And he started making a lot of money. And eventually he opened up his own firm with employees, and he had the top brands in the country, and he became one of the richest people in the city where I live. And it always stuck with me how you could start with nothing and really grow something and become rich without really even having an education. And we read a lot about that. If you look on the Shark's Tank or those type shows, you see people that came from almost nothing and have made a lot of themselves, not only just as an entrepreneur, but also in medicine. I just watched a show about a doctor who came from Mexico and became one of the top brain surgeons in the US. So I told these stories to Victor, and I could feel on the other end of the line that it was generating some ideas, and he started to visualize of what he could do. And then I asked him the question, so what do you think you can do? Do you know people that maybe can lend you a little bit of money and you can go out and find a few products or one product that you could start selling in this way? And he says, yeah, that's good. I think maybe I could do that. So now when I started the call with him, he was despondent. He seemed to have no more ideas of what he could do. But now after my story and just a few questions, he got excited. I could feel it. And he was ready to take action on that. So I said, look, why don't you make a list of the 10 top items that people go to the hardware store for, that the kind of store you want to open, and start researching maybe where you could get these products wholesale. And also look for people that would be willing to invest with you or tell them the story that you want to do, the type of business, and maybe they can become investors or family can lend you a bit of money. So he's off and running to do that, and we'll have a conversation in a few days to see how that's going. So the point I'm making is that leaders, when people come to you with their problems, and of course it's not just for small issues, but if you have given or have an employee working on some kind of initiative, a project to improve things, and they find themselves stuck in front of these obstacles, Think of a story that you could tell them that will have them start thinking in a solution-minded way. Get them to start thinking through a story what they can do. And then all you have to do is ask them, so what do you think you can do? Maybe make some suggestions and agree on a plan of action. And then set a date to follow up with them to see how they're doing. So that's how you can use storytelling to enhance your coaching and management of employees and get them to take more initiative. I hope you find this tip useful and that you'll put it into practice. Check out some of the other related videos on the channel. Check out the blog articles on my website on the blog section. Subscribe, turn on notifications. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk again soon.